Hello everyone, welcome back to The Dart Show, the official PDC podcast. I'm today once again joined by two absolute fountains of darting knowledge. We've got former UK Open quarter finalist Chris Mason and the self-proclaimed ombudsman of darts, Dan Dawson. Welcome back, gents. Thank you so much for joining me. Since we last spoke, it's been absolutely raining 9 darters. We've had Jan van Veen hit a 9 in the Poland Darts Open. We've had Chris Dobey in the Players' Championship. And Dan, we were both there in Belfast when Josh Rock hit that special perfect leg on home soil.
Yeah, it was special, wasn't it? I mean, big moment. And I think that's the beauty of going to a live darts event like that. And for it to be his first appearance in Belfast, it's amazing. I think he'd have preferred to won the game.
Probably,
right?
I think, yeah.
Well, the thing is, but people are talking about this a lot. Oh, well, it's made the night, hasn't it? And Josh, I'll be so delighted with that. I think he'd rather have 2 points. Because it really has put some gloss on what was not a good night for Josh Rock, and there's not been a good start to his maiden Premier League campaign. However, DC is good. This is really good. The reaction to it is amazing. Because it's 5-1, and I'm on the next game in comms, so I leave the press room, which is way back at the back of the hall at the start of this leg, because I'm thinking I've got to be in the comms spot for the next one. And I hear the second 180 go in and everybody going mad because you can tell. And I hear, yes. Then I walk around the corner and see an absolute shower of lager across 8,500 people there. Like that. That's what I saw. I didn't even see the 141 go in live. I just walked around the corner as that happened. But, I mean, to be honest, the reaction is what makes it.
A lot of our team said that that's the most raucous crowd they've heard through a 9 dart in the last couple of years. Do you think it's up there?
You know what? It didn't sort of twig as it was happening for me, but I'm struggling to remember a madder sort of reaction to one. I think because of where it was, obviously, and with it being Josh. At the same time, it's not led to anything, has it? And that's the thing. Look, everybody loves a 9-darter, but Jan van Veen, clap we up. Well done, Josh. Lovely moment for you. Thank you very much for coming. I'll have the 2 points.
And we had another 9-darter, maybe even more history at the Pro Tour, which you were at, Chris, in Leicester. Bo Greaves, the first ever woman to hit a PDC 9-darter on the Pro Tour. I mean, she just keeps making history, doesn't she?
Yeah, and what made it even more special, it was against Mensa, who was on this particular day or in this particular match really slow and making things really uncomfortable. And you could tell it was, in the early stage, it was just beginning to annoy Bo a little bit, but she just found something. I think what she does and what a lot of the young players do, they react quite quickly to situations. They either handle them really well or they don't. And she handled this perfectly. And in the end, ultimately went on to win the match, unlike Josh, which was more important for her, of course. But yeah, it was a lovely 9. Came out of nowhere, really, for this particular match, because she wasn't that great. But wow, what a way to make a bit of history, and you could see by the reaction, she just couldn't stop grinning. You could imagine what I just can't believe it. I can't believe I've done it. I'm sure she's done it countless times, Dan, on in practice and.
But I know Fallon did one on the Challenge Tour, didn't she?
Yeah.
But, for the first woman to do it on the actual PDC Pro Tour, big deal. And like you said, look, she won the game as well, just about got to the line in this one. But you mentioned Jan hitting 1 in the final in Poland. That was to put him ahead in that final against Littler. And I don't want to say he went to pieces, but you could see the amount of adrenaline coursing through that man's body. He was not able to, about sustaining the level. He's not in a 9-darter every leg, but he hadn't sustained the level overall from the first few legs of that match, where he was right in it with Littler. And it's a difficult thing with which to deal. Bo's managed to do it, credit to her. But yeah. It was amazing.
From personal experience, fortunately for me, they were to win matches. So you don't have to deal with it. But I've sort of done one in just sort of like a low level open, and ultimately I've lost the 2 I hit in opens. I lost both matches because I just couldn't dump the adrenaline, and it's so hard. And that was really early in that match that went all the way. So it's good going forward, because there's going to time she'll hit one on a even bigger platform and an even bigger stage, and possibly in the Premier League. But I was impressed with Josh Rogers as well, because he needed that. And it just sort of takes the attention off where he's sitting at the moment in that Premier League.
It's something for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's still not a good start to the Premier, but it's something for him. And it is, as a moment, I mean, like, hit a 9-darter in Belfast, he'll take it.
He did say treasure those golden darts, wouldn't he?
Premier League's created some incredible moments, especially when we had the Contender series where we had sort of John Henderson walking in with the bag. I mean, those moments, and that is right up there for me because it was in his own town, in front of his own people. Was just so special, and it came across on the TV. Normally, them kind of things, you've got to be there. Like Dan said, you can feel it. You, even if you're not watching it, you know, hang on, the 9's on. You could just, all your senses are exaggerated. And I was chuffed to bits for him, but needs to use that as a platform to build on going into, was it Cardiff this week?
And speaking of people struggling in the Premier League, the other two people in the bottom three, we wouldn't have guessed at the start of the season, but it's Luke Humphries and Luke Littler, who've both picked up just 4 points so far. It's very early on, but is it a cause for concern for either Luke? Is it made one concerning more for the other player?
I think it's the exact opposite. I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Look, I don't get carried away. We are a quarter of the way through the league phase. If you go back to Littler's debut, so 2 years ago, 8 weeks in, he was outside the top 4. It was the back half of the season where he won 4 titles and rattled 8. I think week 9 was his first one that he won. So there's loads and loads of time. But the better the start for the other guys who are not the two favourites, go and look what the bookie, they still think Littler's going to finish top of the league. They still think Humphries is going to be there. They're still the two favourites for the title. They have changed their opinions a little bit on the likes of Michael van Gerwen and Josh Rock in particular. And Johnny Clayton, people getting more convinced that, as he always seems to do, plays really well in the Premier League. But there's loads of time to put it right. I just think that the better the start for the other guys, they will start to really think, I am in this fight. And we could get a Premier League campaign where it is carnage and they are really scrapping and there's a lot of movement and they're leapfrogging each other. Look, do you expect Littler to go on a run? Yes. Do you expect Humphries to go on a run? Yes. But then do you expect Price to go on a run? Do you expect, maybe Bunting to go on a run? Do you expect Johnny Clayton to get, well, they can't all do it. So look, this is the thing. You put 8 of the world's best in a league and somebody's going to finish top, somebody's going to finish bottom. Don't rule it out. Think about all the great players, really great players. Peter Wright, Adrian Lewis, Gerwyn Price, who have had awful Premier League campaigns, really, really poor ones. And to be honest, with Adi and Peter, more have been poor than have been good. I still don't think we're going to see poor campaigns from either of the Lukes here, but it does make it makes it interesting. If they're both torn off to the top of the table at the start of the first 4 weeks, you think, well, this is done and dusted. Everybody else is fighting out for 2 places. Don't think it's quite like that.
And if you delve a little bit deeper, it's not a new thing. Luke not winning Littler. This is not winning Premier League nights. He's played 36 of them. I think we worked out
32. 36 including this year. Yeah.
And he's only won
9.
Only won 9.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's still not a bad strike.
1 in 4 is all right, isn't it? It's okay
in that company. But of course, our expectations and people's expectations are higher. Even I say you walk around the supermarket, you get stopped. Oh, what's wrong with him? What's happened? Is he out of form? Well, no, not really. But when you, like Dan says, when you put the 8 best players, well, look at Bunting, who had from absolutely nowhere goes and picks up a win in Belfast. You just can't. It's almost impossible to predict now. But that's what we want. Certainly, as people that talk about it and cover the sport, don't want it predictable. We don't want it to be a foregone conclusion. And I'm with Dan. I think it's great that they're down there, not from a personal standpoint, but from a sporting standpoint, because at some point both of them have got to find the afterburners and really kick on, because the longer this continues, the harder it is going to be to creep into that top 4, because the guys in the top 4 believe they're going to stay there. I think it sets it up for a brilliant campaign this year. I think it was needed. I think if the 2 Lukes had been at the top, we'd be like, all right, who's going to finish 3rd and 4th? But at the moment, you don't know who's going to be in the top 4.
So unpredictable, isn't it?
Oh, I hope so. I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, so.
Speaking of unpredictable, just round the corner, we've got the 2026 Ladbrokes UK Open. Before we get into anything about that tournament, we're going to go through and test the darting brains of these 2 gentlemen here and see if they can guess the player UK Open edition. Right, Dan, Chris, we're going to play Guess the Player UK Open edition. The UK Open is such a good tournament because you get so many different names, you get amateur qualifiers. So what we've got is we've got 10 players. We've got photos of 10 players here. You're going to take turns each. You'll have 5 players each. All you have to do, so simple, just name who you see. It's like catchphrase, but darts.
Right, okay.
Who's confident?
No.
Neither of you. Fantastic.
Dread in this. Nothing good can happen in this.
It's so many players that they've only ever played in it once.
Yeah.
And I didn't know them the first time round.
I was going to say Warwick Sheffer for every single one of them. We get 1 out of 5 right, I'll take it. Right.
We up what difficulty we go. So, Chris, we're going to start with you. Name this player.
Darius Labaneskis.
Correct. It's a good start, Lithuania, number 1. Dan, you're up.
Mr. P, Darryl Pilgrim, get in there.
Darryl Pilgrim.
You.
This will be his 6th UK Open.
He's got a really good draw first round. Is it? It's Bow, isn't it?
Yeah, Bow.
Yeah.
Round 2.
Round 2,
Overseas.
yeah.
Be a great match. Chris?
Oh, now then.
Banks.
Do you know the first name?
I feel I do.
Thomas.
Tom
Good
Bang.
shouts. Good
knowledge.
shout.
This is why we've got him. This is why we need him. He's Thomas Banks. Wait, it's a round 4 loss to Gerwin Price in 2022.
Name in darts.
Frosty, the throw man. Yeah, Mark Frost.
Mark Frost, correct. 2 each. This is going good so far. Chris?
Ooh.
Getting harder now.
That is Paul Freeman.
Do
Lee's brother.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a half point so far.
Oh, what's his name? God, he's my pal. He'll kill me. I haven't seen him for years. Joey Paul Freeman.
Correct.
Well, so am I.
He's pulled out of the bag.
I'm not fancying this.
Dan?
Who on earth is that?
I know that.
Who on earth
I've
is that?
seen him.
Do you know, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, Dan, I'll give you 5 more seconds and then Chris can maybe steal it.
I think it'll be a clue.
Warwick Sheffer. No idea. No idea.
Joey Tenberger.
Correct. Joey Tenberger. Made round 3 in 2015 and 2016.
Oh.
Chris?
Oh, God.
These are hard, man.
Oh, I know.
Who set these?
A man who goes by the name of Gortz set these.
God. If you're watching this, Gortz, you're a bad man. You're a bad man.
He made the last 16 in 2005.
Player.
Lost to Colin Osborne.
Good player. Did a documentary in Vegas. He was.
No, I don't know who he is.
Do you know?
Warwick Sheffer?
No.
Is it Warwick
Sure on the initials?
Yeah.
LS.
Lionel Sams.
Correct. That doesn't count.
You can't have it. You can't have it.
Right, Dan.
No
there's one for
idea.
you.
Don't know. This
Initials might help you. Initials might
might
help
do,
you.
might not know.
MZ.
Mike Zidewike.
Correct.
Oh!
This is why we get
Get
him.
in. He was good, Mike.
He was all right, wasn't he?
He was
He
good.
beat John Park 5-2 in the first round of 2015.
There.
The more you know.
Have I pulled that?
Chris, this is your last one. You'll do very well. You'll do very well. You might be able to recognise the other player just in the corner of the
Yeah,
photo.
that's Barney.
Correct.
I haven't got a...
I am astonished that people working on this podcast have had the diligence to black out what is evidently his own name written on his shirt there. And that's the sort of professionalism I was not counting on.
What does a PDC stand for? What's the first letter of PDC? It's actually a pocket.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought he'd been blacked out like he was a victim of a horrible crime.
Well, he was O'Reilly's qualifier, so...
It's AB is the initials if that changes anything.
What's his initials?
AB. Or TB, depending on if you're close with him.
Not Scooby-Doo.
Anthony Broughton.
Not a clue.
No.
Not a clue.
Oh, yeah, you got to give me...
Come on.
Yeah.
There's just pictures of people off the streets.
Well, he won O'Reilly's qualifier. Dan, your last one.
Speedy hire, so that was 06-ish, 07 maybe.
This was from the 2013 UK
Oh.
Open.
I mean,
He was a speedy qualifier.
it's
From Glasgow.
the face sort of rings a bell, but I don't know that. I don't know that at all.
He has a namesake that is a very good tennis player. Very, very good tennis player.
He doesn't look like a Novak Djokovic.
Well, if he's
Andy Murray.
correct. Andy Murray.
I do remember at the time because it was the whole thing that it was Andy Murray at that time as well. So yeah, but I couldn't.
He lost 5-4 to Vincent van der Voort in the first round.
So you're showing us an amateur qualifier that lost in round 1 13 years ago. Yeah, that has never been heard of before or since.
Correct. We expected better of you, Dan.
Yeah, you expect it. Right. Okay. Josh, I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. Joker. Right. Did we get a lot of fun out of it?
I think that was great, Faye. I don't know about you guys.
No, I found it horrible.
Horrible.
It was good to go down memory lane as well and see some.
I don't remember some of these. There's no lane to go down.
You were still doing Birmingham radio, hadn't you?
I was. I think was I at that one? I might have been at that one. But I don't recall speaking to Mr.
I remember the name. I can remember the name now because of obviously what it meant at the time.
No. All the best to Serena Williams or whatever his name was.
Serena Williams. Well, there we have it. I think Chris came out winner, I want to say. Just about, maybe.
I did, yeah.
Maybe by blatant cheating helped him out.
Time I won one.
Well done.
It was a good battle. Well done, guys.
No more guesstimating. Take control of your energy. Get a smart meter.
We're going to stay down memory lane with the UK Open and we're going to talk through Chris and Dan's top 3 moments ever of all time in ever existence at the UK Open, which has been a tournament since 2003. Chris, do you want to start us off with your third favourite moment?
Yeah, and my 3 are just based on what actually it did for the sport at the time and why I've picked them. And my first one was that ridiculous sequence of darts from MVG playing, of all people, Rob Cross before he became Rob Cross, the world champion. And it was just, for me, it was just darts at its absolute most devastating at a time where, you know, the game could have sort of started to and fro a little bit. And Michael's this has just summed him up. This was on the back of perfection. He finds the 170 out, you know, and this is started to pull clear, and he needed to sort of have a kick at this particular moment. And then he backs that up with one of the cleanest 9 darters you've ever seen. And it was a sequence down of 7.
I think it was 19
Yeah,
because it was a 180, then a 170, then a 9 darter, then another 180.
and another.
And was there a treble at the start of it and at the end of it?
There was a Joe 19, then a 177, then a 170, then a 9 darter, and then I think a 177 or 180 following on as well.
Yeah, it was 19 darts of just perfection. And that little window summed that version up of Michael van Gerwen at that time. He was, you know, whichever order people want to put him in, him and Taylor, just moments like that just sort of even make me marvel.
19 perfect darts.
Yeah. Like,
will we ever see that again? That's, you know, in a Premier event.
Yes.
You're going to say yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And then ultimately, how are you going to prove me wrong? I've got decades.
We've got the footage, Dan. We've got the footage.
Yeah, but okay, fine. Run that back to me on my deathbed in 7 years' time and say you were wrong. Oh, fine, that's fine. But yeah, I think we were. But it's a rarity. That is fair play. That was watching Van Gerwen at the peak of his powers, and he was a force of nature.
What wasn't picked up there was he then goes on to a 170 as well after.
Yeah, 170 after, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, he was very good at darts. Still is.
He's not bad, is he? Well, Dan, how are you going to top that with your third moment?
Look, I think I've picked sort of 3 moments in varying reasons. No, it didn't make the long list, actually. No. I had a similar sort of memory of that as I did Andy Murray at UK Open. However, the story of Nathan Aspinall dropped off the tour, came back, didn't even have 20 quid in his account, won a title, then within 2 months, he's reached the semi-finals of the world, and then 2 months later, he does this. Wins the UK Open, his first major title, his granddad's in the crowd, and he wins it with a 170. Now, the thing is, everybody remembers that. Everybody remembers him winning the title with a 170, his first major, this rags to riches story. And then, look, it's Grandad Aspinall going mad in the crowd. But it also shows how a good final can gloss over an average tournament. a good winning checkout can really gloss over a bad final, because that was a poor game of darts. It was not a good one.
They were running on him.
Cross was dead on his feet. Aspel wasn't brilliant, but that moment in itself is something, because it got him over the line, and what a way to do it. And, you know, that is the origin story of Nathan Aspinall as a top-level darts player. That period of 6 months, first title, World Semi-Final, UK Open, and it set him up for life financially, or set him up financially for the next couple of years or few years, but it also set him up as a darts player, and that's why we have the Asp that we have today and we've had for the last few years.
Yep.
It's only the second ever Premier event that's been won by a 170 checkout. John
Part against Lloydie, wasn't it? Match play.
Lloydie,
Well, the other way around.
Lloydie, my son, you've done it.
Yeah, Lloydie did it again.
Yeah,
Part,
yeah, Lloyd against Part 2012.
Yeah.
2005, I think, maybe.
There was someone else that did it, but we won't talk about that.
That's
I don't mind.
wasn't a PDC one, but still.
Yeah, listen,
Lovely match.
That's what you dream of. You stand there and you must think, oh, this would be amazing to win it with someone like this, and you just do it. It must.
What's the best checkout you've ever won anything with?
161, I think.
What was that? Irish Masters?
No,
It was on the telly.
it was
TV Sunday.
It was TV Talk. Yeah, I've won a few rank like world ranking titles where I took out like big numbers, but I think we had this discussion the other day. I've never actually took a 170 out on TV.
Yeah.
No,
Still time, mate.
still time.
Still time.
Still time. Make the comeback.
Yeah.
Next year, Riley's qualifiers,
Yeah.
PDC in the community. You could turn up to a shit.
Yeah, if they do it in my pub, definitely.
Right. Number 2, Chris. What have you got for number 2?
Yeah, and again, so we've just had sort of key moments and a spell from MVG. This one, without doubt, actually not working on it, not doing the commentary. I actually went and sat in the VIP area and watched it because it was mind blowing. Was Damon Hatter against Luke Littler, one of the greatest matches, and then the middle spell of this game was. It was like watching computer darts. It wasn't like watching. It's like someone done some kind of AI trick because the footage didn't seem to miss. They were both averaging, I think it was way over 110, both of them at the same time, and they were just knocking lumps out of each other. And I sort of, you know, me and Dan have said over the years that, you know, we think Hatter's ready to win a biggie, and when you watch him do this, that was the reason why. We felt, I think the averages dropped off to a mere 106 and 104 in the end.
Poor standard, really, isn't it?
Yeah, terrible. After a match that length, but that was because as it got a bit twitchy towards the end, both missed a few darts at doubles. But if you get the opportunity to watch that back after this podcast, by the way, it's on YouTube. It's well worth a watch. It literally is simply just poetry emotion for 45 minutes. It was brilliant.
It's one of the rare times we've seen Littler go out at one of the latter stages of a Premier event. Normally, you just can't knock him out when he gets going, but Damon Hatter did.
Yeah, he did. And look, he did it by playing world-class stuff. Like, genuinely, May's saying, the first, I think after the first break, they were both averaging 117 or something mad. And by the next break, they're still averaging 111. Yeah, it did come down to something vaguely normal, but it was like still at the excellent end. And that's only because things got a little bit twitchy towards the end. He saw that Littler had a chance, could have broken, could have been thrown for the match. But missed those opportunities, and Damon Hatter didn't.
Number 2 for you?
Number 2 for me. Right. Okay. So the UK Open, it is all about the magic of the cup. And what is more magical than a man turning up as an amateur qualifier that nobody really knew anything about him. In fact, on the form where all the amateur qualifiers have to fill it out, like who you are, what you do for a living, where you're from and stuff, under the bit where he was born, he put in a volcano, which suggests that he wasn't taking it that seriously. However, he empties your bin. He empties your bin. He beats the world champion. His name is Barry Lynn, the greatest darts champ that never was. He not only beat Brendan Dolan and a bunch of other players, he then knocked out the reigning world champion, Gary Anderson. Barry Lynn. This is what the UK Open is all about. Because you do get these weird things happen. He then went on to reach the quarterfinals. It was only Michael van Gerwen playing at the peak of his powers who managed to knock him out. But that is a dream run, the likes of which we rarely see. I know, nowadays a lot of the amateur qualifiers, we know a lot about them. There are a few this year that we don't know. Who knows if they're going to be any good or not? But there's a lot of former pros who are going to the sort of Riley's clubs or wherever to
Paul Oban used to always...
Paul at the professional amateur, He made it onto the long list, certainly more than you did. You bet 2-1 check. Yes. But Barry Lynn, I think, is the archetypal... and the archetypal, along with Aidan Kirk, of course, who was a debutant, but he was there off the UK Open qualifiers back when they happened. But that is exactly what the UK Open is all about. And I think if you're looking for an instance that typifies why this tournament is so special, that's the one.
We love an underdog. We love an upset.
Perfect set.
There you go. What's your number one, Chris?
Yeah,
I wonder.
I think because, well, many factors. It's Aidan Kirk when he beat Phil Taylor, but he didn't just beat Phil Taylor. He beat Pricey along the way as well. And it was the fact that it was his debut on TV. This was the starting point for him. He's gone in there blind. And remarkably, he's qualified again this year through a qualifier. And it was just the shock because Taylor at the time, he just thought, there's no chance, like it just can't happen. And it created, well, shockwaves through darts because we thought, when he got beat in the Grand Prix, you sort of go, well, it's double start, short course. Andy Calaby beat him. Who else beat him in that? Payne beat him.
Yeah.
But again, it was short course starts, double start. It's a great leveler. This was Taylor's speciality. Long course starts, under the lights, on a big stage, everybody supporting him. And Aidan Kirk just turned up and
bust 130 twice.
He did, yeah.
To consecutive vision. At 130, and he went treble 20, double 12 instead of double 5, and then came back and did exactly the same shot in the next visit, busted twice. I have never seen that happen. Hadn't he just come back from one of his sort of juicing retreats in Spain, where all he did for 2 weeks was drink juice and walk, and he lost about 3 stone. And then he just completely messed up the whole sort of balance of his throw.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I think he was off in Tenerife, and like I say, he was on one of these little health kicks because he used to do that. And I always say to the players now, it's conditioning. Right? I was actually chatting to an old manager of his down at Leicester, and he could play darts for 10 hours straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He might not have been able to, go to the gym and bench press 200 kilo or swim 1,000 lengths in a swimming pool, but he was match fit. You've never seen that with him when you had to play multiple games on the one day, whether it be at the UK Open or a Players' Championship or a Slam where it's 2 really long games. You've never seen him sort of go, I'm tired. He never got tired of winning money, that's for sure.
Will we ever see...
I just think that was really special. And good luck to Aidan, who's back this year.
He is. He's playing Mervyn King in round 1. That'll be a great game. Yeah. But will we ever see a bigger upset than that in darts? Do you think there's potential maybe this year at the UK Open? Or is there any other tournament that can give us the upset?
I think because of that time, Taylor he was just so good. And Aidan was unheard of in terms of your... Not even if you were a hardcore fan, you'd struggle to have known who Aidan Kirk was. So it was just such a shock because it came from totally left field and unknown. I think now, because the kids play online all the time, they play in ADC and JDC and Dev Tour Challenge Tour. I think it's very hard now for someone to come along who you literally can't find any data on that would turn up, say, and beat Luke Littler over a race to 9 legs. That would be the bigger shock. If it was, at the Grand Prix, then you'd sort of, because you never know with the Grand Prix. It's such a hard format. It's hard enough in 1 double a leg, never mind 2. But for me, that's up there with Calaby beating
I think you're right.
Taylor in the Grand Prix.
And just the manner of it as well. It was just a weird.
Yeah, like I say, the game, 2+1 for it is
bizarre. Well, I feel like I know which direction you're going to go with your number 1.
Can I have a guess? I think that basically there's something to do with Andrew Gilding or Steve Beaton.
I'm going to leave 1 thumb up and let Dan do the rest of the talk and see if I'm right.
Okay, yeah. Well, there are loads of reasons why the UK Open is special. There's loads of things that make it unique. The open draw. So if you go back 3 years ago to 2023, you had in the semi-finals, it was Luke Littler's first Premier event, by the way, beaten by Adam Gavlas, who had found his way through to the semi-finals. It was a really good game, playing some really good stuff. Started this year as well, Gavlas. But Adam Gavlas had made it through. Michael van Gerwen, the multiple champion, had made it through. The winner of the match play, Dimitri van den Bergen, made it through. You've got two massive names there. And Andrew Gilding had made it through 8 years after what looked like his career-defining run to the semi-finals of the UK Open, where he's only beaten by Michael van Gerwen, despite averaging 108. He was playing darts, the likes of which we had never seen from him before, and it looked like the high watermark of his career. He dropped off after that. He'd gone off the tour. He had a couple of years off the tour. We thought that was it. We didn't think he'd come back. But when he did come back at Q School, and he said, "Oh no, I played that UK Open. I think I could do it again." And even I, as a man who owns an Andrew Gilding scarf and duvet set and outfit and various other things.
Yeah, okay.
Did you have the shoes?
Yes. Even I thought, can he? Yes, he could, because that open draw meant he played Gavlas in the semi-finals, whom he beat, and then Michael van Gerwen. If you're looking for redemption, this is the perfect arc. A last leg decider to beat Michael van Gerwen and claim, to date, your only PDC title, let alone major title, after you dropped off the tour, the oldest first-time winner of a PDC Premier event. This is the magic of the cup. This is the magnificence of Andrew Goldfinger Gilding. And if you were looking for anything that encapsulates the beauty of sport, the beauty of humankind, Gilding and the UK Open.
I'm moved. I'm honestly moved by that.
I don't know what happened that weekend, but whenever he did appear on the main stage, the crowd just... It's like they sensed, or they knew something that we didn't, because they just absolutely adored him and his walk-on song. They're getting involved, all the thumbs up to him, and they just embraced him. And that final, you take MVG to the hill, and we know what his record like is in last leg shootouts. It's outrageous. And he found a way to win, and it was on par with when Gurney beat MVG on with the finish on the ball.
Oh yeah, only game. He'd lost it about 7 years at that time. Yeah. Do you know, the real tragedy about this, and this is completely selfish, by the way, that's the only UK Open in about the last decade why I wasn't there. Because I was working on World Chase Tag over in Texas.
Really?
And trying to follow it on my phone, and then trying to explain to a load of very confused Texan parkour athletes about who Andrew Gilding was and why he kept doing that and why it was such a big deal. And all I go, well, where?
Were you wearing the outfit at the time?
No, that would have helped. But yeah.
They wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point.
Yeah, didn't do a lot more work for them after that. Don't mind.
It's amazing, isn't it? He was ranked 41st at the time in the world. It's why we love the UK Open, because I don't think we've had exactly. We haven't had a number one seed win the UK Open since 2020.
I mean, look, the open draw was amazing. As I say, the open draw that everybody was waiting for that draw, because if it had been Dimitri and Van Gerwen kept apart, such odds on that they're going to meet in the final. Dimitri was playing good darts at the time. Van Gerwen's Van Gerwen, but it didn't. It didn't happen that way. And the draw itself.
Draw expert.
Yeah, we're a draw expert, because when you take the balls out, you don't put them back in, do you? That's
one of the great.
That's one of the things to do. That's one of the things to do. Look, that makes it. And just the fact that the draw itself is an event. And I just think that this tournament is brilliant for that reason. You get weird things happen. You've seen some incredible sessions of darts. I mean, you go back to the year that Peter Wright won his first one, 2017, it was 10-9, 10-9, 10-9, 10-8. And I think there was a break because the generator went down in the Barney Wright game, and Wright came back and won it, and then he won the title.
The averages were ridiculous across that session. If you combine them, it was way over 100.
One of the great sessions.
Yeah.
But then even there are other years where you've seen Dave Pallett, John Parr, Rob Owen all in the quarterfinals. Yeah. Burnett, I think his last quarterfinal came in one of these when he was
a couple of years ago.
It was there's so much stuff that always seems to happen. The behind closed doors one, Cadby versus Anderson, that was when with the weird quarterfinal lineup. There is always something of interest because there is a random element injected into this tournament that means that is the perfect antidote, let's be honest, for, Premier League fatigue, which might set in for some people around this time.
Yeah, it doesn't have that glitz and glamour because there's always so much going on, and you can't sort of focus and go, right, this is what's happening. If he beats him, he plays him, because that's not the nature of the tournament. And the early stages are literally just organised chaos. But in terms of a tournament, I think a little underrated. I think if you speak to the players, that it's one that they love to win and tick off the box because of the complexity. It's the biggest tournament in the world, 160 competitors when we set off on Friday morning. And it's just remarkable seeing how they navigate their way through, because upstairs behind is where all the multi-board room areas, and you'll see them all practicing in there, the ones that are not on the main stage or stage 2. And you can see them there sort of bright-eyed and what is going on.
This tournament is probably about as close as you get to the old school sort of darts festivals or massive opens from back in your day, right? Yeah. And a lot of the younger generation, they won't have experienced those. I mean, look, great, go to the Dutch Open. Some of the PDC lads are playing in the Dutch Open this year, but the Dutch Open is absolutely enormous. You get the feel it's a festival of darts. Yeah. This is as close as PDC darts gets to that kind of vibe,
and it's
right?
the closest thing the fans get to the players, because in that multi-ball room, it is a bear pit. It's literally just a barrier just off you've got 6 boards in a line, sort of 6 individual podiums, if you like, and the fans can almost touch it.
Yeah, and it's always fun to see which players bring down the biggest sort of entourage. Yeah. I'm told that Adam Lipscomb might be bringing a few this year.
From Dorchester.
Yeah. Hopefully he runs at a going price because he keeps beating him on the Pro Tour.
Yes.
See if he gets him again. I don't know.
Well, UK Open, so many good moments from it. We've heard Chris's, we've heard Dan's top 3 moments. We want to know what you think is your favourite moment out of those 2, and who's got the better list? Who do you think, guys? You're going to say your own.
I could not care less.
I like his list, but I couldn't. I think the Andrew Gilding moment, or joking aside, was truly an example of, if you just stick in and take your chances, is not just what can happen in darts, what can happen in sport. And it's just a lovely story.
Enough about the past. We're going to be talking about this year's UK Open with our predictions coming up. Right, let's talk about this year's UK Open, which is just around the corner. Dan, Chris, we're going to get your predictions in ahead of the tournament. Of course, we don't know the full draw yet.
Yeah, I'd say the one we've just sat here and eulogised about how unpredictable it is, and it's an open draw. Nobody knows it's going to get you to tell us what's going to happen.
I've heard you ask me about the Royal Match, mate, where we've got especially an avid raw.
Right.
No, it's the fun of the trophy.
I'll make loads of guesses about stuff which will inevitably be wrong, and I hope we all learn and enjoy.
Chris, we'll start with you. Who do you think is the most likely to win it this year?
Oh, you would say Littler on the start he's made to the year, but then I can oppose it by his start in the Premier League. But of course, that's a much shorter race in the Premier League, and I think it's been proven he likes the format, he likes the schedule of this tournament, and I think if you don't go early, I don't think anybody gets him at all. But listen, this as you rightly said earlier on, when was the last time a world number 1 won the UK Open? That's how hard it is to win. I don't think it's particularly form dependent. I just think if the draw plays out for you and you sort of drop on games that sort of work for you, it's just a minefield. But listen, it's hard to oppose him. He played beautifully to pick up a title not that long ago. And like I said, this is a longer race. He's got more time to settle in. I wouldn't be surprised if he defends it.
I wouldn't be surprised. At the same time, I think one of the best UK Open wins, I could nearly put it on one of my lists earlier, was when Robert Thornton won it. Because you look at the players he beat round after round, that open draw, it was just world champion after major champion after top 8 player. It was, I think, Webby and Priestley and Newton and obviously Taylor. There was just everybody. He'd just beat everybody there, all the top ones. Now, that can be done, but if Luke Littler if the draw is not kind to him and they go, right, you can have Humphries, now you can have Price, now you can have Bunting, now you can have whoever, like, he doesn't win every single game. And I think that there is always a danger of that, which is why it's so difficult to back. However, I do think that Luke Humphries is playing so well at the minute. And Price, yeah. The problem is with Price, I kept predicting Price would win a major last year repeatedly, and he kept messing up winning positions specifically against Littler.
Yeah.
He could have knocked him out of 3 or 4 big TV events. But I don't think Luke Humphries is getting that way, but he has missed starts to beat him in the Premier League. It felt like he sort of missed the chance to beat him at the Masters. Yeah. But I do think he's playing some wonderful stuff, and I still believe that Luke Humphries is going to win lots and lots of big shiny things this year. And I think the UK Open might be the first of the big uns.
So before we even know the draw, we're going to go Luke Littler and Luke Humphries with that. What number 1 and what number 2?
Yeah, I mean, you did say who's most likely to win.
I tried to phrase it generously. That's all right. We were trying to help you out,
and we've given you the 2 most likely. That's good punditry.
There we go, mate. Well played, gents. Well played. Very good stuff. Okay, let's have a bit more freedom here. You've got your dark horse. So who's someone that's not expected to win the tournament, but you think could go on a run, could even win the whole thing? Should we start with you this time, Dan?
Yeah, there's a lot of debate about dark horse. Somebody I like at the minute, whenever I see them, I like their numbers. They may not have won as many games they'd like, but there's a couple. One of them is Niels Zonneveld. I think Niels Zonneveld is an ever-improving player. He's great. And he's hoping to take the sort of Luke Woodhouse path of just moving on up stealthily up the rankings to get towards that top 20. But I really like how Suits has started the year, Alan Suter. And he does seem to be a player, Suits, where he has these spells, and there might only be for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and it's where they come in the year, where all of a sudden he just is playing his best stuff and he seems to stay in this zone. He did it when he first turned up, and in the first few weeks he was like averaging 105 and beating Peter Wright and stuff. He had one that coincided with the Grand Slam in the back end of the year. Had a very good run at the World Championship last 16, but the Grand Slam, he played some brilliant stuff, was hitting loads of 180s. I like how he started the year, and I think Alan Suter could be a player who, all right, I don't think he's going to go and win it, but as we've already said, things happen at the UK Open when you can find yourself in the last 16 quarters, semis, and he's certainly got the game to take out some big name players. So even if you don't win it, you can have a big impact on who does. I think Alan Suter will be an interesting watch.
It's a nice pick. I like that pick. You stuck there on the prize stick.
Okay, yeah.
It's good stuff, Dan.
Thanks, man.
You're here for a reason.
Yeah, I'm not going to go completely like outsider, but I like what I've seen of Aspinall and his approach to this year, and his sort of refusal to sort of get bogged down in the whole being left out of the Premier League. Spend a bit of time with him in Emsby at like a darts festival weekend thing, and sort of watched him pretty closely and watched his game, and then watched his stuff on stage when he was doing an exhibition. And he mentally he's spot on right now, and I think he quite likes being sort of not necessarily forgotten about, but not being spoke about because he's not in the Premier League. And I think that lifts a bit of pressure off his shoulders, and I think that allows him to play with a bit of freedom. Loves the UK Open, loves the place.
Loves seeing the 170.
Proven, course and distance winners. We're not far away from Cheltenham as well, I suppose. So I know it's not like what you would class as an outsider, but one that probably is not on everybody's shortlist. But I fancy Aspinall to do some damage this week.
2 good picks. I like the shouts.
Thanks for approval.
I like the shouts.
Desperately crave it.
Well, we've now got onto someone who is at risk of an early exit. Who do we think is at danger of not performing well? Who's had a bad spot so far?
It's a horrible conversation, this one, because it's just horrible in general to see players struggling. But the obvious picks of Dimitri and Peter Wright and Raymond Barnabas, they're the 3 highest profile players, and Barney's got a real tricky match against Sedlacek. He's a bowler, and he's playing well this year as well. So, and he's beat him recently.
And Dimitri's sat on a whole load of money that's about to come off. And it doesn't look like he's in a position to defend a large chunk
or retain his card, and that pressure is horrendous. There's no worse a feeling than knowing that you're on this slippery slope and there's no brakes. You're pressing the pedal and there's nothing stopping. And I just don't see anything from any of them that make me go, oh, this could be the start of a. I've looked at Dimitri's throw, and I just can't see where what's breaking down or what fundamentally has changed that much that you go from doing extraordinary things to then not even. I mean, there was a moment a few weeks ago I think it might have been a Euro Tour qualifier or something, where he produced some really good numbers.
I think he had a 10 plus average.
There's the odd game. That's the thing. And the odd game is enough to make you think, oh, it's still there.
Yeah.
For so long, he was at a level of performance where you expected excellence. He's one of the best players in the world. It looked like he could have won far more than he already has. But what he has won is an amazing haul.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous career.
There's still something there, but whatever is causing this malaise, it's not going away. It's not gone away. And I think it almost feels at the minute for Dimitri Van den Berg like it'd just be better if we skipped off, fast forwarded a few months ago, right, we're going to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's how he's thinking. I don't know. It's difficult. I spoke to Dimitri when we were in Antwerp in the Premier League, and he is his usual charming, positive self. He knows he's in a very difficult position, and that is obviously going to take its toll, but he still believes that he can get back to his best. I just don't see it happening anytime.
No, and one size don't fit all in terms of how do you put a stop to it. I sort of suggested, although slightly misquoted, that's not like the press, with Peter Wright, just go on a cruise. Just put your darts down, forget about darts. Just go away for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and because whatever you're doing now it's not working, is it?
Well, Dimmy's done that though, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like he has taken breaks out and for a few weeks, and that hasn't quite worked. And it's so whatever he has tried so far hasn't been successful, and he's never nice seeing players struggle.
Horrible.
Particularly
Legends.
Particularly young ones who have shown that their level is able to win things against the very, very best. And so, look, I fervently hope that whatever Dimitri does, it works and we get him back to seeing him at his best. I just don't see any sign that's going to happen anytime soon.
I remember that final, which caused a little bit of unpleasantries towards him when he played Luke Humphries, and he stopped, he slowed it down, and then he was going on about, sports psychology. Maybe he's just overcomplicating the whole thing. I know, listen, I said no one size fits all in any walk of life or sport or psychology or anything like that. And you just sort of wonder if you overcomplicated it. It's a bit like Peter Wright. Has he tinkered just too many times and now he can't?
But the fact is, when Dimitri was slowing things down and doing his breathing and doing all that stuff, he was winning.
Yeah.
He was winning titles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like he's been bullied out of it. Oh, stop all that stuff. It's weird and it's slow and I don't like it. And it feels like he feels pressured to be a certain way to please other people. Sodom. You play darts how you play darts.
I agree.
If you get the best results out of yourself. And I really hope that it's not just him trying to please other, because you never please everybody.
No.
You just play darts how you play darts. So he didn't break any rules. Right, some people didn't like it. Fine, I don't care. He played world-class darts and he won stuff. Match play champion, UK Open champion, won a whole load of other stuff. Should have probably won on the Euro Tour. But look, he's had a brilliant career. I hope there's loads more to come, but I don't think it's going to be this weekend in Minehead.
So if Dimitri Van den Berg is your pick, is Rembrandt van Barneveld your pick, Chris?
I think there's multiples, isn't there, of players that are just not on it right now. I tell you, another player who to keep an eye on, and again, it's not an outsider, Chris Dobin, who's playing some fabulous stuff right now. He's had a few little tweaks with his equipment, and he seems to, and he's very much like Humphries, that he can't put them down because he loves practicing with them.
It's another one like Nathan, where I think it's almost like there's been an outbreak of sort of good sense and proportionality amongst darts. Like, I'm not in the Premier League. Fine. Yeah. Let me get back to the business that put me in the Premier League. And Nathan's doing it. Dobie's doing it. Dobie's doing what he's done for years now, just winning lots of games on the floor. Let's see if he can do a bit more on the big stage.
I watched the youngest competitor in the draw, who was at the JDC and JPL day last Friday. Kyle Gilding.
Good name.
There you go. It's got a history there. No relation, I hasten to add. But keep an eye on him. He could bring us a lot of fun. As did the two young kids when they first came around in Thomas Banks, wasn't it? And somebody called Littler who went on to do all right.
No, he's done okay, yeah. Well, our next category is ones to watch. So Carl Gilding, is that your choice, Chris?
Yeah, listen, there's 160 players in it. Lots I've sort of just done little bits of light research on, and just to find out if there's any kind of backstory, or if they know someone that I know. And but yeah, it was just interesting that the fact that particular day I was down at the JDC, that Carl Gilding was playing, and I was impressed. I think, and certainly if not this week, certainly for the future, because again, just look at the fundamentals and the actions and the attitude and temperament, which we always go on about. He's got it in abundance.
Interesting. Hopefully his career blossoms soon. Dan, give us a name that we don't know too much about that we should.
Well, there's one particular game where two players have been drawn against each other, two brand new tour card holders who, look, I will confess I did not know very much, if anything at all, about prior to Q School. And in the opening few weeks of the tour, they have played a level that surpasses what I thought they would achieve. And they're playing each other, so I think whoever wins that may go have an impact. But one of them is a Scottish guy called David Sharp. And the other is Adam Leake, who's come all the way from Australia. Yeah, incredible. Didn't even have a place to live. You were there when he was when he won his tour.
I was there with you. It was something.
Great story, right? Brilliant story. But I tell you what, he can play.
Oh, yeah.
He can play better than I thought that he could. And there's been some decent numbers that he's posted while his, whole life, I would imagine, has been in turmoil, just finding somewhere to live, finding out what it's like to live in the UK. Lots of travel back and forth.
Well, he only went into the qualifier because he was just over here anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I know it was always like the big plan, but he'd been over there for several weeks, and I'm not sure. I don't think he believed it was going to happen. He thought it could happen, but all of a sudden it did happen. You're a tour card holder, and those go, right, well, where am I staying tonight? But I think whoever wins that one could have an impact, because I think they've both shown something in the first few weeks which suggests there might be ones to watch over the course of this year and maybe this weekend.
Yeah, and I watched a fair bit of David Sharp at the recent Pro Tours 5 and 6 in Leicester. Very impressed. I'd never heard of him before. Again, like Dan, before Q scores on, who's this guy? He can play.
Did he whitewash Peter Wright, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's clearly
really play. Got a nice style to his game too. Big scorer.
The Razor.
Yeah.
Razor's a good name, isn't it?
Good name.
Speaking of good things, Adam Leake, one of the best shirts in darts. We know you love your dart shirts, Dan.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, if you like cartoon veg, it's probably an all-timer a shirt.
Is it Evil Charlie levels though?
That is more esoteric, I would say, the Evil Charlie shirt. This is very much straight down the line. His name's Leak. It's got some leaks on it.
Oh.
Yeah. But yeah, big Will's a big fan.
I love the shirt, but I'm a huge fan. I'm a leaker.
So he likes aubergines. Just thinking,
my love of veg, or is it fruit? Yeah, it's taken up by the aubergines.
like that.
I don't know.
Seeds into
Probably a nut. Is it a legume? This isn't the right podcast for that.
No, probably not. All the important things we talk about here, isn't it, down at the Darts Show? We want to know what your UK Open predictions are for this weekend, so please do let us know.
No more guesstimating. Take control of your energy. Get a smart meter.
That is ever so sadly all we've got time for today. A huge thank you to Chris and Dan for joining me and sharing your darting omnipotence. We'll see you both in Minehead this weekend, will it be?
Yes, I'll be there. See you there.
Wonderful. Yeah. Looking forward to it. And if you want to join in on the action, please do by getting the PDC TV app. You can stream all boards 2 to 8 from this weekend's action on the UK Open via the app. So make sure you download it. We've got a fresh new look on there, so please get yourself over there. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.